by the Sports Center. This evening, I'll be talking with Claiborne's new head football coach, Dalton Lee. We will be going over the CHS football program, Lee's staff, and much more. But first, I need to thank our team of marketing partners and our premier partners. Whitaker Insurance, J&S Concrete Pumping, Value RX Tazewell, Walker & Walker Construction, Hearthside Bank.
Me and my brother, we tried our hand at basketball, when we was a little junior pro. I don't think we liked it as much. We kind of got into football when we were I think we were 5 years old. A game had come out that we had wanted, and Dylan had convinced our dad and mom to buy it. I think it was our dad to buy it. But yeah, at that point, I don't understand what it was, but the love of football is unless we was fighting with each other. That's a given with siblings, especially twins. But I don't know. I think just because when we were little, we weren't the best. We never really. I didn't get to touch the ball much when I was little, but for some reason we kept loving it. And our parents made sure that, especially our mom, she's like, "You start something, you're gonna finish it," and we just kept doing it ever since, and it just kept rolling. Eventually, turned into something that we do to this day. It is what it is.
Okay, what did you learn by competing with your twin?
Yeah, it was. It helped me realize that we can only make each other better if we could keep pushing each other. So I had my best teammate and my best friend. I went home with him every day, spent all time with him. So we both pushed each other. But it does competition like that will make you a better person. But say it's just because he didn't get as many carries as I did.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. But I think he definitely had more skills than I could. He played receiver and corner, which is probably the hardest positions on the football field. I'll back anybody up. Lineman's tough, it's physical, but quarterback's hard in itself. But we definitely he had more tools and capabilities. I was just better at what I did. But no,
so one of you had the knee and the other had the shoulder, right?
I had the knee. Yep, I went down with the knee, and it come back, and he was playing angry the rest of the time because he felt that not exactly his fault, but a lot more people could have done something to stop it. But it's just football; is how it happens. But yeah, he ended up throwing his shoulder out. So, but he did get to play his last game his senior year, so at least he got to do that. Regardless, it still would have been physical, but I never remember the first quarter or so. I was like, these boys are laying me out. I was like, they're giving me the business. The same with Dylan. But no, it was a good game. We still the boys competed after that. They didn't let me stop them. Me going down to stop them, it still sucks. But Dylan, it stopped him eventually. But he was playing angry. So,
how bad did both of you guys?
We both wanted. Injuries happened, a little wear and tear on our bodies, but it just caught up to us too soon. But I wish I would go back in time and tell myself don't give up, because I did. I gave up. I pretty much told myself there was no shot after I messed my knee if I would do anything. But if I go back, I still wouldn't change it. I wouldn't be in the position I was right now if it didn't happen. So
describe the disappointment of the injury and knowing it might.
And I was like, now I have to alter my plans. But that didn't really hit too hard until the coaches they quit responding. That was the telltale all. It was like, okay, I've got to change my course of avenue for my life.
Okay, let's change the subject a little bit and talk about coaching. What
group you can't be as amped about things because they're responding differently.
Yeah.
But
sure, them little ones. Yeah.
Yes, but no, he kind of got to start with Little League, and then Asher No reached out about middle school after a little while, and me and Dylan went up and helped him, which I think it was Brody Wells at the time. But then Asher No took over, and coaching with him was great too. I learned so much between him, and then
when did you know that you wanted to give it a try? And I know you were influenced, but how did you come to make the decision? Yeah, that's something I would enjoy.
Yeah. So, especially with head coaching, is that what you're asking, or is it just coaching?
Assistants, any coaching at all.
So, being around good coaches, especially when I look back and see how actually be able to do something like this and gear that more towards my life. So, I ended up changing my degree midway through college and started focusing on getting an education, and coaching football was my main focus.
Okay, what? You've been under so many coaches through middle school and high school as a player. What coaches?
Saying that it hit at some point, and they were like, he's going to be, he's not only going to be a good player, like he's got the ability to be a good person, a good man, and that's something that kind of over time I started realizing as I'm coaching, I'm like, well, and like talking with my friends like Jake Walker and Nick Nash, like you being a good coach, you have to do things to be a good coach, but like coaching how to be a good man, like that's a whole another ball game. And like, be a better person, a better brother, a better son, a better whatever they want to be. If they want to play, be a pro gamer or whatever, like if you don't play Fortnite, whatever they want to do nowadays, be a pro at that, like or get better at that. Like just whatever you're doing in life, have a plan to get better at it every day because complacency is not good. Complacency is what makes people average. It makes what people like. I want to wake up every day wanting to
the halls of Claiborne High School and Cumberland Gap, and we see these outstanding players if they would just come out and play.
Yeah.
Big in size. I mean, you got some that's fast, or just smaller players that's fast and quick. How are you going to address getting those type of players on the football field and out of them hallways?
Right. My big thing is like give it a try, and I promise, like we're not going to kill you, but like I know kids have they say kids have gotten lazy, kids have gotten soft, but until they see what they can get out of it, it'll make all the difference. Because if I can just get them in the doors and get them talking about football, like practice, whatever, I think they'll end up coming to like it.
Do you have any keys to motivating players when they come out?
I like to be loud. I like to be. I come off. Sometimes I need to dial back a little bit now. Usually it'll probably start clicking a little bit more, and then I'll be like, oh, that's maybe not as bad as I thought. So,
what about in-game motivation?
In-game motivation. So I was very well. At least when I was in school, I was a big music person. Like music, you can do a lot of stuff to motivate yourself, but like until you like internally want it, until you want it for the guy next to you, you're not gonna like you won't maximize what your abilities are. And so like some leagues have kind of shifted more towards like a 7-on-7 or a flag football. I would like to see some more. I've thought about trying to start some summer camps where like we'll have like a 7-on-7 with the younger groups, just getting them interested, like introduced to football. But I think when I think back to Little League football, I think a lot of issues we run into is a lot of not parents, but a lot of coaches getting hurt.
Lots of them,
or even possibility like that. Football is just a sport where you go beat your head against the wall. That's not what it is. Football is a very mental game. There's a lot of body preparation that goes up into it, leading summer on. Like we're doing winter workouts now. Leading up to that, like you prepare your body so that way when it comes to Friday night, you prepare your body and mind before the game, so when it comes out there, just
what you do best is
ensure that they're prepared the right way. Like we have to prepare ourselves as coaches, like prior to the game, to make sure that not only like there's always going to be surprises on Friday nights, but as long as we can prepare for what we've seen and how to stop it, or how to take advantage of it, like we have to prepare ourselves that way. We know about it, and we're experts in it before we try to teach it to the kids because we want them to understand. So a lot of the coaches I have, they're very motivated and ready to get to work. Which Coach Wesley Nance, he's like, can we go 5 days a week yet? I'm like, we'll love it. I don't know if they'll love it, but we'll love it. But practice structure is for me. I preach on fundamentals. Like I'm trying to make sure that I've got the right guys in the right places that are going to be able to help us get to the point where we have the practice structure, and we'll have to coach more to get more. But having fun, I think it'll come in its own because the kids, as long as they're enjoying it and loving the game, they'll have a good time. And I'm not some coach that's going to run them to death to where they like. I don't want them to leave practice on one leg. I'd rather them go home to their families, their parents, and have a good time. And still have enough in the tank to be a kid. So I'm not going to come out here and I'm like, listen, you can't not call into work because a lot of them work at McDonald's. I think I've got 10 kids that work out there. But I'm like, if you don't tell McDonald's you're not coming in, what do they do? I'm like, well, they're going to write you up, probably call you for a no-call, no-show. They might even fire you. I'm like, well, football's the same way. I expect you to be there when you can be there. And I'm like, if you don't, because I'm understanding completely. If they got something going on, just shoot me a message. It takes 2 seconds. My fiance is the same way. She's like, playing football is not a right. It's a privilege that you earn. And it starts in the classrooms. And if the kids don't have at least a C average, they're probably not. I'm not going to let them practice because they have to understand that like they may not have admirations to play college football now, but their mind might change by their senior year, and they may think, "Hey, well, I'm actually really good at this. I might want to go to college for it." Well, if they've just scooted by as much as they can, it's not saying that like when they're done with workouts, they put it in the laundry basket, and if it's not in the laundry basket, it's not getting washed. Like I'll let them wear it dirty a couple times. I don't want them to get any kind of infection, but if it gets past 2 or 3 times, we may have to sit down and talk because I'm not going to go through like that's something that they have to be accountable for.
Yeah, let's talk about parents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how are you going to best communicate with the parents, and what can they do to help this program?
The best clean up the locker room. I'm all for it. Like like I want parents to be involved just as much as they want to, and just being extremely transparent and collaborating with them because like at the end of the day, we're all in there for the best interest for the kids, and we've got to treat that place like a temple because we have good facilities, but we got to make sure that if we want them to be as good as they can be, we all have to work together.
What would you like the school board, the school itself,
and to be my coach and to help me where I'm at now, and just like extending that hand and asking for help for people like that. That's a huge must. But I really want to see I know a lot of people want to see the place look better, more improved facility wise. We still need some help. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do as a staff or as a program, but I can't have the booster club those. But it's a shame when they have to go use. I'm trying to run them out of the coach's office because that's the one working one. It works really well. Some of the other toilets flush. It's not the cleanest, but they're having to go to the concessions to use the bathrooms because that's the only one that they've got handy. But there's things like that, things our kids shouldn't have to worry about. We shouldn't have to worry about as coaches. And like I said, having the booster club, we have a booster club. It's a little bit aggravating at times, but I understand, there's not enough money to go around for everybody. But everybody's got their issues, and we'll hopefully build and hopefully get some support to where we'll have working toilets and the facilities, and they'll all work together at some point.
Okay, talk about your staff. You've got some in place. You want to mention some of them?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with coaching track right now. I can't be in more than one place at once, but he'll help our kids' growth, maximize in the weight room and on the field. It'll show results. Having guys like Wesley Nance that are there when I can't be there, he can always be there. He wants to be there every single day. I was waiting for basketball season to end so I can tell Coach Corey that I needed him back. But now he's invaluable. And we've got Jake Williams, Coach Jake Williams. He's the SRO at the high school. He's just about always there. But those guys are great. And then, of course, I got my brother, Dalton Lee. He's working constantly, but he's trying to work his schedule out to where he can be there more. Lives in Oak Ridge, works in Kingsport. Makes no sense. He makes a lot of decisions, but it's tough. Then you got Coach Pete Brewer. He shows up about the same time just about every day. He's always there working with ready to work with the line. They're all eager to dress off me.
Okay, what do you want to say? Well, first, let's talk about the immediate needs you have, other than the facilities.
Right. The facilities. That's the big one. Immediate needs. I mean, we're pretty good on money with our booster club. At the moment, I don't think I can think of anything that we would need other than facilities. If we can just improve.
Say something to Bulldog Nation out there. What would you want to say to them?
All I really want to say is all these coaches are working really, really hard. We're super excited. The kids are excited. We're going to work really, really hard these next few months. And in August, there'll be results. And we want as many people out to come support as possible. I've been working with meeting with Adam Barton out at the Timberwolves, and we're trying to work some form of collaboration. All of us working together. That at the end of the day, we'll see big results. And I want the kids to see a community rally behind them. And I want our first home game to be packed. And even when we go to Granger, I want our sideline to be packed. These kids are working so hard that they'll get results. And they want it. They know how good they can be, and we know how good they can be. But it really helps when you've got a lot of people behind them.
Yeah.
I always tell them we've got a game on our schedule that they've already circled as a loss. But I told them, as long as y'all go out and compete for 4 quarters, that's all I can ask. And I want to see personal growth and athletic growth in all of our kids. The ones that aspire to be a college athlete, I want them to push themselves to the point where they do have the ability to go on if they want, and they can get the statistics and whatever. But I was part of the past system, not this past year with Coach Corey, but the one before. So I understand, the split back veer. It's built around, it's a triple option, so it's kind of, I always say, it's how many people can we not block and get away with it and read them and pitch off of them. But the blocking schemes will be different. Coach Corey McGinnis, he really worked in trying to get back into the more gap and zone scheme principles, which is I'm all 50 yards downfield every time. We're looking to get 3 or 4 yards of carry, and if they stop their stuff in the run, if we can throw a short pass out to get 10, 15 yards, and maybe even hit a home run off of it. But it's definitely going to be a fun tempo offense. We're not going to be no huddle, but we're definitely not going to sit on our heels. But it should be something that they will enjoy seeing. And then defensively, hopefully we can get to the point where we can install some stunts on the defensive line, especially if it's third and long, and disguise some coverages. But it's gonna be something that I think will look exciting, and the kids should enjoy playing in the scheme that we're going to have.
That's good. All right, I'm going to give you an opportunity for last words. Whatever you want to say to anybody you want to talk about, if you want to thank somebody, or just whatever you want to do.
Big thing is I want the fans and the community. It was Blue Devils back then, and now we're Bulldogs. We're all still. It's Claiborne. I mean, it's been Claiborne High School for years. But I really and like having the support system that I have. Like my fiance Kaylin, she supports me whether or not I'm up there till 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock every night. She still supports me. And then having my dad be able to support me as well. He's coming out helping me with facilities. We got a lot of stuff to do there. He's helped me with track stuff. He don't even care if it's football or track.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Once again, I need to thank our partners, Whitaker Insurance, J&S Concrete Pumping, Value RX, Tazewell, Walker Construction, Heartside Bank, Stay and Play Doggy Daycare, Grooming, and more. Our team of marketing partners,